Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Tyrian Weekly, your weekly recap of all the new Guild Wars 2 news. Now, with even more talking. My name is Dan Grinnell from youtube.com/DandersGames and stuff, but you likely do not care about that. Let's get on with the show. Coming up today, part 2 of the Tower of Nightmares is coming, promising to reveal the nightmare within. Will Scarlet win? Will the Messart return? Will the 6 human gods come back and smite us all? All of the above. Coming up on the 10th of December, there is another balance patch coming to the game. I went onto Reddit and got some of the most significant changes for you all. The second installment of the Tower of Nightmares is coming. The Nightmare Within should be pretty self-explanatory, but let me just say what is in this patch. For those of you that might be unaware, Scarlet has promised to create one of their obelisks, an item that is at the very heart of great religion. She did this in return for them teaming up with the Nightmare Court. They created this huge tower in Keswick's Hills, and now it's our job to kill them all and save everyone from the surrounding area. So in this patch, the tower has been breached. Now we have to storm the tower and attempt to kill the Toxic Alliance. There was some speculation on Reddit that this may not actually be a 5-person dungeon instance, but an open world raid encounter. Whatever it might be will be revealed when the patch is released later this week. Some rewards for this patch include a gas mask skin, the aqua breather skin outside of the water, brand new minis, and the tri-key chest, something which will no doubt contain the wonders of RNG. Now it's the big topic. On the 10th of November, there is a balance patch coming to the game. This will change a lot of builds, making some more effective than they currently are and some significantly worse. I should add before I begin that these are all subject to change, and what I describe here will not be in any great detail. The full list is on the Guild Wars 2 forums now. When I decided I would cover this, I realised I know crap all about all the different classes apart from Elementalist and Thief, so I took to Reddit and asked what some of the best and worst changes are to each of the classes. I got some good responses, and some bad ones. Someone even told me to go fuck myself and do the job MMORPG pay me for. Well, the joke's on you. I don't get paid for this. First off, the Thief. The initiative regen has been increased by 33%, meaning that thieves are less reliant on traits which increase it, so some of these traits have either been nerfed or moved to a different tier of trait. In terms of nerfs, the Dagger Pistol Thief will no longer be able to perma stealth, as the trait Infusion of Shadow now only gives you initiative when you enter stealth, not when you use a skill that stealths you. Also, Shadow Return on Sword number 2 has been given a quarter of a second cast time, meaning that it cannot be used to get out of situations quite as easily. Also, the trait Vigorous Recovery has been nerfed, going from 8 seconds of vigor to only 5. Next up, the Elementalist. With this patch, the devs wanted to improve the fire, air and earth lines, while taking away the need to spec 30 into Arcana. With this in mind, the base cooldown of element switching has been decreased. Because of this, some of the more powerful traits have been changed in tiers, such as Cleansing Wave being moved from the Adept tier into the Master tier of the Water line. Some specific changes include a new Grandmaster Earth trait which makes you immune from condition damage as long as your health is above 90%. And Blasting Staff, the trait that increases the radius of AoE attacks, has been moved down to the Adept tier. What's changed with the Necromancer? Honestly, not much worth mentioning. They basically nerfed a few traits and buffed a few others, but you know, the same view was pretty much mirrored on Reddit. With the Mesmer, the devs wanted to reduce the dependency on certain trait lines while at the same time making their support traits and condition removal better. With this in mind, they changed Mender's Purity to remove 2 conditions when you heal instead of 1. Illusion Celerity has been moved to the Master tier, and the radius on the trait Shatter Conditions has been increased to remove conditions in a wider area when you shatter. Halfway there. Engineer next. The devs wanted to maintain the core roles of the Engineer while increasing build diversity at the same time. They increased the amount of swiftness you get from the trait Speedy Kits, so now you only have to change kits every 10 seconds instead of every 5 to get permanent swiftness. Power Shoes now also work outside of combat, so as well as constant swiftness, you have a constant 25% passive movement speed buff. Next up, the Guardian. They have opened up more possibilities for offensive Guardian builds, but they do not want them to be as powerful as other classes in terms of damage per second. That being said, when asking on Reddit, all they seemed to care about was the symbol of swiftness getting a buff. This skill now applies 4 seconds of swiftness per pulse, rather than 8 seconds if you have no swiftness and 1 second if you have swiftness. With the Ranger, the devs said that they are increasing build diversity, but on Reddit the Rangers were not all that impressed, and they did not write very much, so unfortunately I can't really comment much further on this. And finally, the warrior. They are finally nerfing the high control warriors. No more perma-stun hammer warriors, guys. Some other notable changes include the crack shot trait being moved to the adept tier, possibly signifying the return of the rifle warrior, but apart from that, nothing too significant there. That was the Tyrian Weekly for this week. If you have enjoyed, please be sure to subscribe to the MMORPG.com channel, and if you have Google+, be sure to comment down below too, because we all love Google+, guys, right? Right. Oh, God, Google+. I made a video about that topic over at my channel at youtube.com/standardsgames and stuff if you fancy checking that one out. Thanks very much for watching, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.